Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. It is a pleasure to be with you wherever you may be joining us from. Tonight, we are broadcasting live to YouTube and Facebook. So if you are watching live, be sure to comment and let me know where you're tuning in from. If you are new here, my name is Cade Moore and I'm your tour guide on tonight's journey. And if you wish to join me, we do have open lines tonight. So if you have a story that you want to share or some news or anything along those lines, the number is 0730403096. You can call in and share your strange and unexplainable stories. Now, if you are new here, we try to do these shows at least once a month. And we usually put these behind the paywall, but as of going forward, all of these shows will remain for free on our Facebook and YouTube. So wherever they get broadcasted, you can watch them again at any time. So if you join in late, you can always go back. However, if you are a Believe Plus member, you will get the audio sent directly to your device roughly 24 hours after the broadcast. So you don't need to be on a computer or anything like that to watch it. You know, you can kind of listen to it the way that you would listen to your normal podcast. So I just want to give a big shout out to everyone here who's watching on YouTube. One of the best things that you can do here is give us a like while you're watching and make sure you're subscribed, because that way there you'll never miss out on a episode when this does go live. You'll get a little notification, especially if you have the notifications turned on. So make sure you do that. And it's a really excellent way to chat to other listeners of the show, because when you kind of got a little bit of listeners and viewers on the YouTube platform and a little bit on the Facebook, you kind of miss out on all the fun stuff. So I would always make a recommendation that you go over to YouTube and watch it that way. So tonight, there's a couple of things that I do want to share with you. We are obviously outside of season 20 of the podcast, and season 21 is around the corner. And I am looking for guests for that season, but I do want to let people know that we are taking a lot of written requests for season 21. So if you have a story that you do want to share, write in, and that way there we can basically read out your encounter on the air for you, because sometimes jumping on here and talking to someone about it can be a little bit daunting. I fully understand that. So we want to give you the option to have a little bit of a barrier, and that will happily be me reading your stories out. So thank you to everyone who has been writing in. One thing that I do want to let people know is that we will be giving our Believe Plus members a little bit extra at the end of every episode going into season 21. You guys will get an additional episode. Well, no, it's not an additional episode. You'll get an additional story at the end of each of those episodes. And they're going to be like little small stories that people have kind of wrote in and just wanted to share, something weird or something that's happened to them. So I'm going to be including those at the end of every episode of season 21. So you're going to get 10 bonus little stories to go with that, which I think is going to be a lot of fun for those people who do support the show. That's one way that I can give back and say thank you so much for everything that you do for the show. Let me give back and thank you, because some people, we put out a poll. Oh, well, it wasn't a poll. It was a survey for the show. And I want to thank, I think it was about 200 of you who filled that out. And one of the most common requests for the podcast was longer episodes. And I would honestly love to go out and give you as many 1 to 2 hour long episodes as we can, but it's not always a reality, because some people's stories don't take a huge amount of time to tell, and some people just get through their stories rather quickly. So what I thought would be a really fun bonus is tacking on a bonus story at the end of each of those episodes for the Believe Plus members. So if you were on the fence about joining that, when season 21 drops maybe have a bit of a think about it, because you'll be getting some extra juicy content along with everything else that comes your way. Some update news behind the scenes of the podcast. So season 21 will be starting, I believe, in about 4 to 5 weeks at this stage. So we are taking a little bit of a break, obviously, in between seasons, which we always do. And the reason for that is so we can get this, what do you call it? Documentary out. And people saying that I might be talking a bit too quick on here. I'm sorry. I'm one of these guys that seems to talk at a million miles an hour. So if I am talking a bit too quickly for you, please let me know. I'll slow it down a little bit. I just get excited when I'm around you guys. It's hard not to talk fast and try and get everything out to you as quickly as I can. But yeah, we are taking obviously a break in between season 2021, like we do with all of our seasons. So we will be putting a bit of a focus on our documentary that we are doing in collaboration with Moonlark Media, on the haunted hills out near Hill End in New South Wales. So I believe we're about 50% through the edit on that one. And I tell you what, it is looking fantastic. If one thing I can say about that documentary is that it's going to look very, very pretty. So if you are a Believe Plus member, I will be dropping a couple of little sneaky tidbits of that. So we will I will arrange like a couple of behind the scenes screen grabs and things like that of some images and stuff like that, so you can get a little bit of a sneak peek at that. But if you are a Believe Plus member, you do have access to, I believe, 5 to 8 minutes of the documentary already in a proofing phase, and it's quite a pivotal moment within the doco. So if you are a Believe Plus member, make sure you jump onto the website and have a look at that, because it is waiting there for you. Because I can see that not a lot of people have gone through the entire process to watch that, but I highly recommend it that you do, because you will be getting an absolute great sneak peek of that one there. But what I want to do is we seem to be finding more and more new listeners of the show, which is fantastic. And that's obviously because we are having people share the show with their friends, their family, their colleagues, and things like that. So a real big hats off to you for that. But in that process, these people may not fully know this whole documentary process that we got going on. So what we'll do is we will got a caller actually on the air. So let me get them on the air real quickly.
Hello.
Caller, what's your name and where you from?
Oh, you don't know me at all? No, you just had a couple of times. Collector, mate. Collector.
Mate, how are you?
Love you. I'm doing good. I'm cooking some mushrooms, cooked cream sauce, and some nice steak at the moment. And basically a bit bored, and I thought I might. I got a notification through, because I'm subscribed and everything. And I thought I'll just give this man a bit of some story that if you want to hear about something or other.
Mate, absolutely, lay it on me.
Well, the main thing is when I first, because I didn't really put it out too much what happened out here at Collector when I first moved here, I did say there was that massive metallic sound that was smashed up on top of the hill. Sounded like someone smashing a piece of metal really hard. And it was at least a couple up meters up the hill. And basically what I realised, I did have a wood knock, a tree pushed over, and the wood knock at the same time. So basically about 5 seconds apart. A big, massive tree was pushed over about 3 weeks later, and then a wood knock, basically. Clear as day. You could hear it like a baseball bat hitting a tree.
Wow.
But, that really, you couldn't replicate it.
Yeah.
But I've got to mention one more thing. Someone moved out across the road from me, when I first moved in, not too long after, and they were shooting a lot of guns and they pissed off and whatever. But I didn't realise that because they were breeding dogs down there, like quite a lot. They've probably got like 40 dogs across the road there. And basically, I didn't really realise they fully moved out. And I heard legitimately 3 days after they moved out, when I found they actually cleared the whole place out, they moved. They went, see you later. There was a distinctive whoop, 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 distinctive down the back of the but I thought, that's just the dogs, It was quite
Whoa.
interesting because it was a clear day. It was in the middle of the day, probably like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
You're kidding.
And I whoop, whoop, like loud as shit. And I thought, there's still dogs. They must have dogs down there. But it was that distinct, and then the tree knock and the tree falling over, and and then I've had them walk around here, no joke at all. Had them walk at probably 2 weeks after I moved down to Collector on 30 acres in the bush. Had one walk around where I live. It was like someone large just crunching around. You can't see out here. There's no street lights. There's nothing. Like you need a torch to walk around. Otherwise, you break your ankles because of rocks and bunkers and shit. And buddy, walking crunch up the hill. And they come here and harass me occasionally.
Man, I love how casual you are about that. It's like, yeah, this is just what it is. It's nuts because in those really kind of remote locations, I always wonder if one person's having encounters with these types of creatures, like what are the neighbors having? Like have you spoken to any of the other people around your area to see if they're having encounters? And I know that might be a really odd conversation to have.
I definitely have. The first one, when I moved in here, around here, we've got a neighbour that lives a few hundred metres up the road, and he has had similar things, but he's old, he doesn't want to speak too much about whatever. But the main thing is I went to there's a Collector Wineries, which is like, they've got a truck stop there, basically, if you're heading from Canberra to Sydney. If you're heading north, you basically got Collector Wineries on your left, and you've got vineyards and everything's beautiful, and there's a truck stop there. And you wouldn't believe it, when I first started driving past, there's probably about 3 or 4 30-foot trees pushed over onto the road, like where the trucks actually park, where it's a rest base if you want to sleep in your semi-trailer at night. And basically I've just seen it increase. There's about 30 trees that are about 30 or 40 foot tall, just completely broken and pushed in every different direction and onto the road, and they've had to cut them down. And it's not surprising, though, because when you look at it, there's cows and sheep, and there's Lake George right across 100 metres away from that particular spot. If they want water, there's sheep and there's cows running around, there's vineyards, and no one lives out there realistically. It's just basically rural properties here and there. And,
it's kind of a bit of a smorgasbord for them in reality, isn't it?
Well, basically, I just back from the coast, and anyway, and basically on my way to it's a bit of town, sheep, but now I'm land, and now I'm pretty well lived out there. It's all the turning down mountains and bush and waterways, and it's just so, somebody have everything, what I mean?
Sounds like the line dropped out a little bit there. Hopefully he calls back in, because I I was loving where that was going. But fingers crossed that gentleman does call back, because dodgy phone lines up here in the far north Queensland region, playing havoc again. Jeff says the Yowies bent his aerial. Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. So Uh, yeah, is what it is. But you know what? That's you can't help that. So, look, guys, I wanted to kind of keep going where I was. And if that caller calls back in, we'll get him back on the air. But until then, just give you a bit of an update that the documentary is well and truly in the edit phase, and we are actually putting feelers out for our second documentary. So uh, we are looking for people who have had encounters in the Daintree region in far north Queensland. So this one is actually close to home, about two-ish hours north of where I am. And yeah, it would be fantastic to get some locals on the show to talk about their encounters and stuff like that. But we have put the feelers out for the Daintree, and it is looking very promising. The Daintree is one of the most beautiful locations in the world, and it has some of the most unexplainable encounters in the world. There is everything happening up that way. There is UFOs, there is min lights, there is Yowies, there is strange creatures that cannot be explained wandering around the hills there. So if you know anyone who has an encounter up that way or even lives up that way, tell them to get in touch with us, because I would love to interview a couple of people for the documentary and really shine a light on, you know, what's kind of going on up there. Because that is a very, very odd area of the world, and all the hidden beauty it has, it might have some hidden secrets related to the unknown. So I just quickly do want to go through here through the chat here, because I thought I saw a couple of questions. Just having a quick look. So I do apologize that this feels like I am dragging it a little bit, but I do believe I saw something that was quite interesting in there. I'll have to make sure I just star those whenever I get that going. But yes, in the meantime, season 21 is just around the corner. So if you are waiting for that one there, it is a couple of weeks away. So please do be patient. In the meantime, we will be doing a couple of live shows like this in between. So if you're into that, absolutely make sure you get on board. Jonathan Dennis, sorry, says the MIB came and got him. Maybe so, because that call just got worse and worse and worse in the in that connection, which was unfortunate. So Jonathan asks, question, any good UFO stories you've heard lately that you want to share? You're just going to have to wait for season 21, mate. I have got some absolute rippers going on with that one. Yeah, UFOs I think are going to be a really good focus of season 21 moving forward. I know season 20 had a lot of paranormal episodes, which, you know, really hit the bill for a lot of people, but I know people love a little bit of variety when it comes to the stories that come on our show. So season 21 will definitely be that. Rod has said, Cade, your thoughts on the latest Tassie Tiger clip? Mate, that's really good. That's really good footage. For anyone who hasn't seen it, apparently there was a international traveler from the US coming to Australia, visiting their family, and they got some footage of a Tasmanian tiger, and it looks fantastic. And it's not just like one picture or anything like that. It's a series of pictures. So I'm gonna do a quick search here to see if I can quickly pull up some of these images, because this was incredible stuff, if I'm being honest. Some of these images are just fantastic. And of course, as you know, you try to jump onto any type of news platform at the moment, and it just seems to be everything's behind a bloody paywall. So I am trying to see if I can get some of these images up on the screen rather quickly. But it looks like I am having a bit of trouble. But let's see if I can quickly share this screen here, and we will see what we've got. So let me go and share my screen. So here we go. This here is a fantastic capture. This has to be one of the best images I've seen in my lifetime of a Tasmanian tiger. It is up close. It is right there. This guy could have reached out and touched it. And apparently the story goes that he flew from the US straight to Hobart, which I think was a real big red flag. Oh, actually, someone has just commented that right here. Unfortunately, there's no international flights to Tasmania except from NZ, and he also said he stayed at the airport overnight, but Hobart Airport closes at 10:30 and everyone has to leave. So probably a hoaxing. Yeah, so it's very, very odd, the story that goes along with it. It's hard to always say, like, no, this is definitely real. Even Rochelle Barr says their story has way too many holes in it. Most of us think the Tassie tiger is fake when you listen to the guy's interview. And yeah, his interview does sound very dodgy. It also could be he is very nervous about sharing it. He's very unsure about it. I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this, because this is obviously going to be one of the most massive finds in basically animal history. You know, we've got here quite clearly the stripes on this animal, and this is only one of the images. I believe there's about 5 that exist, but the guy who shared these images doesn't want to be known for it. He doesn't want to show his face. He doesn't want any of that type of stuff, which I don't know. That's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, he's not looking to get famous from this or anything like that. And also makes me wonder, if he was faking that, why go through all the trouble? Honestly, it if this is a hoax, like, it's a great hoax, and I am open-minded to it being real, but I am also very open-minded to this being faked. It really could be this is a stuffed creature and they have just put it out there, to be honest. That's a absolute possibility as well, but who knows at the end of the day. But it did raise a really good talking point about it. So yeah, Tassie Tiger. Caller, what's your name and where you from?
Oh, Alexa, mate, just rang you back. I just had to re-listen to everything and considered the line dropped out. Oh.
Yeah, mate, it just got worse and worse and worse, and then it kind of disappeared. But mate, where we left off there was kind of chatting about your other people around the area, kind of saying if they've had encounters with these creatures and whatnot, because it's just one of those things that these small little remote towns, they have these activities happen, and it's almost like they don't talk about it.
Well, the reason being is so few people that live in these small country towns, and it's many kilometres away from anywhere large that has lights. You know what I mean? I think they don't like the lights. If you understand, if you look at Canberra coming from Sydney towards Canberra, or vice versa. You can see a large light area around the cities, and you got the smaller towns that don't have these large lights or too many people. So I just think they're just more curious and more, especially with Australia, you don't get many people running around shooting like in America, harassing them. So I think they're more comfortable just, not bothering us, just checking this out. And, because I know for a fact, first time was one little one running around out the front. The second time was another one walking up the hill. And I've had that happen 3 times since I've been here. I know it doesn't sound like much, but definitely something on 2 feet crunching around, like walking around, if you understand. Like it doesn't sound like much, but when you can't see yourself, when you open the door and walk outside to see what it is, you cannot actually see. So I had to put up
absolutely. Like that for me, that's pretty terrifying. You're in a semi-remote area and you've got a creature that you can't see kind of stalking around your house. Kind of puts the hair on end for me.
Yeah, and I'll wake up every morning and I'll walk outside. There's kangaroos and everything, but they don't make that distinct heavy 1, 2, 1, 2, crunch, crunch, walk, walk, and accelerate, as in a heavy footstep. Like I might weigh probably 90 kilos at most, but what I mean. There's probably a lot more, at least 130 kilograms sort of noise crunching up and down around, but not to bother me. Or like I've had small rocks thrown at my home when there's no, because I don't have any trees that overhang my particular home, and so I've got tin roof, so I can hear the rain and everything. I've had little rocks, thrown on a clear night, like no wind. I just think they're curious. They don't really
yeah. It sounds like the I don't know how to say this without saying too wooey, but it's almost like they're just almost trying to communicate with you. Like have a point of contact with you.
I think they just know that people aren't out to get them if they can, because I reckon they're the original beings that were here before whoever messed up our DNA, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So what I mean, if they've been around for how many millions or hundreds of thousands of years before whatever got involved, there could be half a dozen different types of them. But the main thing is, I think they just they've got more of a psychic connection, if you know what I mean, to people or to beings, or they pick up on stuff, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny. It's funny you say that because you hear so many different stories of people claiming that they've had mind speak encounters with these types of creatures. And, that's something that's hard to kind of fathom. But, like you said, if these creatures are of a psychic capacity, who knows what's possible and not?
Well, the thing is, they've got a larger brain than we do. So if their head's a lot bigger, they would have a larger brain. And they're, because they're so natural, they don't have anything poisoning them. They don't eat sugar. They don't drink alcohol. They don't smoke and all this crap. They're just living like any other being. So they'll be more natural and more in tune.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say that Yowies are so in tune to their environment that this is why they almost have this ability to kind of just disappear, because they know it inside and out. They know how they can move through a bush. They can move through the trees and everything like that and kind of just disappear from sight just by manipulating it around them.
Well, basically, they'll hear our vehicles coming. If we're going camping, they'll hear the vehicle coming up the road. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we're just going to sit back up the top of the hill, or, where we can't see them. You'll be so surprised where I live on 30 acres in the bush. I can look up the hill and I can't see nothing. It's that thick. But if I go up on the hill, a good 60 feet up the hill, I can look down and see everything.
Yeah.
Roads, everything like it's. And, if they live uphill, they've got an advantage, if you know what I mean. So,
yeah.
basically, they would live anywhere that's uphill.
Mate, I've got a question here from one of the people tuning in, and it's actually quite a good question here. Jonathan
Yeah.
asks, do you think they're trying to get you to go outside by yourself?
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to steal me away or anything like that, because I've not had like I did hear that metallic sound up on the hill. I just thought that was a stay away because you just moved here. We don't know you. It was quite a, because when I did hear that metallic sound, it was like a large, not a whoop, but a whap bang, on the steel. Whap bang, like someone was hitting like a 2-inch steel thick plate with a bloody sledgehammer sort of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't really, then I heard more about that sort of thing. But the main thing is, the question, I don't think they're trying to take me away or harass me or, hurt me or anything. I just think because I've always been sort of in tune with the sort of spiritual side and not into God, or like I do listen to this. Jesus, yes. But no God, no, juju, no rubbish, no, I've not ever gone into anything too serious, you know what I mean? But the main thing is, I think they choose who they know is good to relate to, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's I think at the end of the day, it's just they're genuinely curious about you, and they learn more about you. So, and I tell you what, it'll be interesting to see if you find activity starts to pick up if people move in across the road from you where that whole basically farm of dogs were.
Yeah, well, they another someone else bought the place across the road, and they did actually continue the business because it's more of a business property than a actual property. You know what I mean? So basically, there has been people there probably 3 months after they moved out. Someone else basically bought the property and continued on the business. And sorry, mate. Funny. The main thing is continuation of that.
Yeah.
They haven't had any issues. I haven't heard any issues, but I have heard late at night, because they get fed around 9 o'clock at night every night. You know what I mean? So I can hear them barking, getting excited. There are the odd occasion where they actually go a lot more wilder around 11 or 1 o'clock in the morning, sort of thing, and I'll wake up and it's there's a lot of them, so you can really hear them, especially on a calm night.
Yeah. So, like something stirred them up a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And they wouldn't surprise me if, they're just curious about the dogs, because, they're giving birth to babies and, little dogs and everything like that. And just the smell of the dogs themselves and just the noises the dogs make. And I think that just draws them in. It's drawn them, because they have to pass my house to go down there from the national park. So,
okay.
So there's no other way for them to. They have to go past my house to basically go straight down the hill.
Yeah, right. So your property is kind of a furrow there for them.
Yeah, basically, and that's why I think that the one got the shits when I first moved in. It was like bloody blocking our, our way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, mate, thank you so much for calling back in. It was good to kind of finish that chat up with you, because I felt like it was just, we had a little bit more to touch on, and I'm glad you did call back.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Whenever you get the chance, just email me back about what you think about that Yowie footage I sent you.
Yeah. Oh, man, absolutely. I have,
I know you've been
4 billion emails. I swear, every time I answer 3 of them, about 20 more come in. It's the bane of my existence. But mate,
run a business, not easy.
Yeah, mate. No, absolutely. But definitely keen. I'm putting away a couple of hours this week to get back to email, so you'll be right on my list.
Not a problem there, friend. You enjoy your evening. Good night and good morning, good evening, whatever.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. You have a good one.
Yeah, not a problem. Take care.
Cheers, mate.
But
Caller, what's your name and where you from?
Truckee Witness Withering.
Brother, how are you?
I'm lovely, mate. I've had a couple of bourbons, I must tell you the truth.
Mate, I am jealous. I wish I had a couple of bourbons in me. I am.
Yeah, no. I'm halfway through a 21st birthday party, and a little bit scattered, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I'm a little bit scattered. But I just wanted to say, Amy Cooper and I are planning Believer meet and greet number 2 in the Pilliga this September, and we really hope we're going to get a big crowd. I know it's going to be cold. It will be cold, so we're going to have to rug up, and we're going to have that big fire and that. But hopefully we'll meet a big guy or something.
Absolutely.
The Pilliga princess or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's
something, whatever.
It'll be a cracking event. Yes, I did have Amy send me a message earlier on today and said that you're going to give us a bell in saying, hey, we've got another Little Believe catch up going on, which I think is an absolute cracking idea. And I couldn't think of a more perfect location than the Pilliga.
No, the Pilliga. Well, if we're going at the Pilliga, I hope there's going to be a heap of people out. I don't want to be by myself when we. You were laughing at me. I'm a little bit tipsy, but yeah, I don't want to be by myself next time I see the big fella.
I don't blame you.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
It does. It fucks with your life. It fucks with your whole life. I'm sorry. Here we go again. I'm sorry for swearing, but yeah, it does. It messes with your whole reality, you know, stuff when you see one of these guys. Especially like a big fella. A little fella say, yeah, he's a cute little John Daly. But yeah, no. I shouldn't mean, because I'm making a fool of myself.
No, mate, it's all good.
Yeah, we are going to make we're going to do a camp in September.
Excellent.
Notes in the dates in the notes, because Amy's such a good sport. She helped me so much with the first meet and greet for South Queensland, which was awesome, and I appreciate everyone coming out. And she's already organised so much for this next one. It's in September, and the notes, you've got the notes, haven't you?
She sent me, let me see if I can quickly get them up. Give me 1 second. But yeah, she did send me something about where the location was, and she's done a couple of bit of researching. So just to give everyone,
she's done a heap.
So
she's done heaps. So even after, if I know she will have, because she's such a good girl.
Yeah,
she would have sent you all the details. But even if she hasn't, all the details will be sent by the end of the show tonight.
Excellent.
And we'll all get out there and go camping in the Pilliga. There's something in the Pilliga.
Well, mate, you don't want to relive that crappy ass movie, but yeah. Well, what I'll do there, Glenn, is I'll let you jump off, but I will put up a bit of a message here with what the dates are, because I can do that there, and mate, I can let you get back to having a good night.
Lovely work, Cade.
Excellent, mate. I hope you have
awesome,
a couple of bourbons for me, mate, because I feel like you You'll smash them down for me. You're a good bloke.
I'll do that for you, buddy.
Excellent, mate. Well, you have a good night. Thank you for calling in, mate.
You too. I love you, believers.
Cheers, mate.
Good night, mate.
See you, mate. Gotta love a good little tipsy Glenn there. Love it. Love it. So yeah, just to give everyone the heads up on that one there, Amy Cooper has been in the background working on a bit of a believe catch up. They previously did one in the southeast part of Queensland. I believe it was last year, maybe the year before, and apparently there was a pretty good turnout, like 20 people or so for some overnight camping. And this time they're taking the show on the road down to the Pilliga. Everything I have got here looks like it's happening from the 6th to the 8th of September. That's the proposed date. And it is the weekend before the Queensland school holidays. So it'll kind of be a kid-free event, which is, you want that for a if you're going yowie hunting, you want that to be kid-free, technically. And she has dropped a little bit of information here about where it's going to be. It's the sculptures in the Scrub picnic area and campground. So what I dare say would be Amy would probably put something up in our Believe listener community. If you're not part of that, make sure you join that. You can chat to other super great legends of the show there, because that's literally the best place for everyone to kind of get their information, anything related to the show. It's where I am most active, to be honest. It's the only reason I keep Facebook is because of that community. And I kind of jump in there every now and then. But I just want to quickly put something on here. Kate, I want to tell you my story, but I don't want to call. I was attacked by a Yowie and I'm ready to talk. Jesse, best thing you can do is write me an email. You can write me an email and I will share your story on your behalf. I'll read it out and I will happily share that with our listeners. That's a big focus of what season 21 is going to be, is to share the stories of people who have written in, because I have got so many emails from people over the lifetime of this show who just want to share their story with me or someone, but they don't want to come on the podcast. And I understand that. It's really hard to sometimes talk about these things. So if you want to write it down, send it to me in an email. I will absolutely share your story with the world, if you are okay with that, because I think that is one of the easiest ways for people to share that. And you can absolutely you can change your names or anything like that. So we can do that for you. That is absolutely no drama at all. I am just going to close the lines for now, but someone did make a really good comment here when we're talking about the Tasmanian tiger. He may have made the photos with AI, and that's a very, very good point. AI photos these days really makes you question everything that you will see on the internet. Basically, from here on into the future, there is going to have to be some kind of verified tag that will have to start going along with content. Because if you do not know what you're seeing is real or not, it's going to create some genuine drama for a lot of people, I believe. So, yeah, look, Jonathan, I fully agree. It could be made with AI. And if it is, that's just a bit shit, to be honest. It would just be a bit crappy. But that is the world that we are moving into. And it's going to get really, really hard when we're starting to get footage of, potential Yowies or Bigfoot or UFOs, because I use AI every day. I use AI a lot for this podcast. I use AI for work a lot. And AI is one of the best things to help in creative industries. However, it is also a massive, massive red flag to when you see things now, because you just can't believe everything that you see, and you shouldn't anyway. You should be open-minded, but don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out. I always say. But yeah, always take what you see with a grain of salt when it comes to something on the internet, because obviously there is so many AI generated images out there. But yeah, that didn't even occur to me, but you could totally be right about that. Just quickly jumping back to where we were before. Amy Cooper says, yep, we will start the chat there on the Believe listener community. Absolutely, Amy. See if you can create an event in there. I don't know if other people can do that or not, but genuinely go for it. Because I will love to see how those events turn out. Matt has said AIR is only getting better. Yeah, absolutely it is, Matt. I use AIR for everything for the podcast. Every image that you see now coming out for the podcast is AI generated. The new podcast cover artwork is AI generated. Well, some of it is. So season 21, that podcast cover artwork, AI generated. It looks fantastic. Andrew Scott says, love the podcast. Well, Scott, I love you for listening to the podcast. Returned from a trip to the Pilliga and had an encounter with a Min Min light. Yes, unreal. That is awesome. I love stories about Min Min lights. It is incredible. Such a fantastic phenomenon. And they always act so different and always so weird. So that's awesome, Scott. It's Andrew. Thank you for sharing that. Jeffro K says Cade's hair is AI generated. Oh, I don't like that AI because tell you what, I haven't got a lot of hair left these days. And what's Shane here say? Shane, when will you have another interview with Dean Harrison? Oh, great question, actually. I was texting Dean just minutes before coming live on the air, actually. So great question. I will have to tee that up because he's been having some cool things, some weird things happen lately. So I think maybe I should go down there, to be honest, and do an expedition with him. Who knows? Let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in, me going down there and documenting something during the night. Maybe we could look at live streaming it somehow. It's that would be a rather interesting live stream. See how that goes. Let me just quickly go through here. Forrest said no AI or artwork on those photos. Yeah, I didn't see if he got any results from any experts on the breakdown of those. So that's something I'd have to check there, Rod. But I really hope that it's not AI. I really hope it's not. I would love for this to be a genuine bloody Tasmanian tiger, because it's so funny. This Tasmanian tiger encounter reminds me of one that Dean Harrison had in the Blue Mountains, talking about Dean Harrison before, where he was hiding in the bush about to have an encounter with a Yowie, and this dog came up to him and he's like, oh, piss off, and like he was hiding. And it turned out that was a bloody Tasmanian tiger. And it only occurred to him after the thing walked off and it disappeared into the bush and he never saw it again. And this is almost like what these encounters with these US folks were. So who knows? You know, it's a funny creature. So, and it's just funny how the universe works, kind of like that. Shane says, yes, Cade, live stream it if you got reception. Yeah, see, I think it's a really cool idea. I have a lot of really cool ideas that we can do with the Yowie guys. It's just time, budgets, and time again, making it happen. So we'll see what we can do there. I'd love to go down there and make a bit of a micro doco about that. And Jace said, going back here, his flight pass made me skeptical. Again, we are talking about the Tasmanian tiger, so make sure you go out and have a look at the YouTube video. I can't remember what it's called, but if you just look up Tasmanian tiger interview, you will find everything that we're talking about. But he said his flight pass made me skeptical. Called Hobart Airport Darwin and said they got a direct flight to America from Tasmania. It was, yeah. And I do believe like that could have just been a complete accident, to be honest. I think that could have been a bit of an accident there. But I do know the internet sleuths found out that there was 0 direct flights from the US to Hobart on that day. Like there was 0. But again, that could have just been some micro details that he is maybe telling porkies on to hide the fact that maybe he was doing something else. Who knows? Again, it's a red flag for sure. Let me just have a quick look here. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, yep, absolutely. The flights were kind of a red flag. Oh, here we go. It's on Forrest Galante's YouTube channel. Yeah, definitely go check it out. It's a really interesting chat. The guy is super weird about it all. But you know, everyone is different and everyone kind of handles these things in different ways. It's one thing that I've learned is you absolutely never judge. But it is what it is. Paul says live stream adventures with Dean would be very cool. Yeah, I think so. I think it would have had an absolute another level of dimension to it because I think that's one of the things that is missing from these types of crews is the ability to interact live throughout a Yowie hunt. Imagine the groundbreaking things that could happen there. And Dion says Southeast Queensland very active still. Come on down, Cade. Look, mate, I have got a very busy year actually. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can make that happen. Flights are so cheap down that way. I think it's like $99 to come down. It'd be mad not to. So we'll see what we can tee up there. But look, guys, I think we might wrap it up there tonight. Tonight's been an absolute cracker of a live show. Sorry you've had to listen to me kind of bounce back and forwards over a couple of different topics. But that's kind of how these things go. You know, they're very loose. They're very fast paced. It's all just about having a little bit of fun. So, you know, thank you to the callers. Thank you to Glenn, who's probably now had 4,000 bourbons and hopefully he's having the best night of his life. And make sure that you do keep an eye out on the Facebook group about the upcoming Believe event that those lovely people are kind of putting all together. So Amy, yeah, you're doing a fantastic job about that. Sounds like Glenn is fully in awe of everything that you're doing there. So if that's anything to go by, you're obviously doing something incredible. But yeah, it is incredible to see the communities coming together like this. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for being part of the show. It really means the world to me because without you guys here, it would just be me talking to an empty room, and that is no fun. But look, let me know if you think that if a live stream Yowie adventure is something that you'd be interested in. Comment in the show notes here. Sorry, in the comment sides there, and make sure you share this video with everyone that you can, because I would love to get more people subscribing to our YouTube channel. I will be putting more of our podcast episodes on there as kind of live shows, so you can listen to them live and kind of chat to other people while the episode's being played. I find that's a really cool way for people to interact again. But I am also going to be trying to get more of these live shows happening. Hopefully we'll be back to our regular formatting for next month. So first Friday of the month and third Friday of the month, we'll be hopefully back to our regular live show patterns. We're getting out of this crazy period of where there's public holidays every 3 days, part of the year. But that's going to be pretty much it. So guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you if you are new here. Hopefully you stick around, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, And make sure you leave a like on this video if you are watching it on YouTube, because that always helps. And make sure you comment in the comments below if you are keen on a live streamed Yowie expedition. So guys, that's pretty much it. I will catch you on the next live show. Season 21 is coming soon. If you do have a story that you want to share, write me an email. If you want to share your story in a written format, and that's it, that's totally fine. I can read it out for you. So I really do want to get more of those for this season. I do have a lot already. So who knows? In the entirety of season 21 may be written encounters. And we'll see what people think of that. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. It might mean shows might be a little bit more shorter, but who knows? It could be really cool content, but we'll find that out when that comes. But look, guys, it's been really fantastic being with you here tonight. Thank you to everyone who's stuck around. We had about 70 people at one point, which was incredible for a show that had literally zero notice of it going live. But make sure you share it with a friend. Best thing you can do. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name's Cade Moyer. You've been listening to the Believe Night Shift, and I will see you next time. Cheers.